Good evening, everybody. So I am starting back with my vlog again. You know what? It's okay. That's not a big deal. It's going to work out okay. I had stopped for a while because I was really on the fence between whether or not I wanted to script anything, or if I wanted to make show notes, or if I just kind of wanted to go by, gut inflection and just speak my mind on whatever I wanted to talk about. The problem with that is that in a lot of the different videos that I've seen online, I'll see where there's people that clearly have scripted and come out with concise and, well-produced videos for their vlogs that work. You always run the risk that there's going to be a little bit of sterility in how that executes and what it comes off like. But I do tend to like that at least you know what you're getting, and the videos don't tend to be overly long. I know that in my previous efforts, many of them had rambled on, and I took a lot of the criticism and input that so many of you were very kind to give me, and I'm grateful for that because it made me realize what I needed to do. So I found something of a modicum, a median really, that I could adhere to. So I'm not going to take too long on this one. You'll notice, if you're looking around on the YouTube channel right now, you'll notice that quite a few of the videos are gone. Now, the only reason that's occurred is because, A, I wanted to really do a brand cleanup for myself, and I was looking back at some of the videos, and I thought, okay, I can either re-edit or re-record many of them. I can attack the myriad subject matters that I had tried to talk about at that point in time, and either rewrite them or reproduce them in a way that I felt more comfortable, and they would be more entertaining. I mean, let's be real. If you're on YouTube, you're attempting to not only maybe inform or instruct or display or showcase, whatever the case is, but really at its heart, it's entertainment. I mean, YouTube is a vessel for that. So I decided that was going to be one of the things that I did, and looking at my checklist here, one of the other things, it's been really crazy for me, because one of the things that really kind of washed over me in the last, I'd probably say month or two, was just coming around to understanding how I wanted to present myself brand-wise. And I mean, in so many aspects and efforts. I mean, like, I'll do something like, I had a very, very skilled and talented friend of mine, Ben Watkins from Brass Engine Productions, made this for me. And I'm going to review this, and I'm also going to get some words in from him on his creative take on how he does these things. This thing is magnificent. I haven't even started using this because I'm finishing up another sketchbook of mine, but this is a leather bound, and if you guys know anything about me, you know kind of like how I am about leather. I don't wear very much of it, and I don't usually use very many things with it. I'm not against it. It's just a personal preference thing. But his work is amazing, and he also signed the back, which is freaking amazing and wonderful. He's a good friend. I met him a few years ago at StealthCon. We hit it off. He's got a hell of a business acumen, a hell of a creative spirit, and just a heart of gold. Both him and his wife, just amazing people, really. And so the point is that I wanted to be able to take everything from this and start fueling it into either interviews and concepts or ideologies that would that I could either move forward with in video form or embellish and round out on my blog, as well as on Patreon, which, for those of you that don't know, I am on Patreon, and I've got a few supporters on there. It's slowly growing, and I'm grateful for each and every single one of you that are on there, and for the people that have reached out and and maybe they couldn't support me on Patreon but have done other really wonderful and kind things for me. A lot of this studio wouldn't even be possible without those people. So one of the things I did do on Patreon was I went ahead and I took the effort this Memorial weekend to do enough updates that I have by the time at the end of this next week, it's already this way, I will have an update at least once a week on there with a micro vlog, 3 to 4 paragraphs kind of explaining the creative process behind a series of comic pages in serial form on there. So you can read through the whole thing. If you subscribe to me and support me on Patreon, you can see almost, and it will be the entirety of Pagan Zoetrope, my first real comic effort on there, as well as a bunch of other unreleased things that, because of NDAs and other stuff like that, I recently got some permission to show, and some other things that I just couldn't put out there, and there wasn't anywhere else I could really publish them. So there's going to be some works that are going to be out there, and that's going to be on a weekly basis. There's also going to be a myriad number of vlogs that will be attached to that that will only be for Patreon. And then there's also going to be pictorial microblogs that will be every Monday and Wednesday. And I've kind of set that up. And it's been insane because all of that is happening while I'm still working part-time during the day, a couple days a week, and holding down a couple of other jobs at the same time that I'm also working on some client work that I've fallen behind on and struggled with, but only because of the fact that I think I got to be a little bit too much of a perfectionist, and I really needed to get over that. And there were some other issues that really came about that I can't really go into right now, but nothing super dire, just, you know, things that I had to work through. But all of that aside, I'm really excited to get back into this, and I'm going to attempt to vlog each and every single night. And they won't necessarily be specifically about artwork or anything else like that. It will be more along the line of a true generic general vlog where I talk about some of the things that have affected me on a day-to-day basis, but not because it's going to be one where I'm going to be sitting here complaining or morose or anything along that line. That was something that I had gotten some pretty, you know, I would say succinct, you know, criticism on, and not in a bad way. Like I said, I appreciated the input that I did get. But I understand that, you know, there's enough going on in this world right now where we don't really need it to be, you know, like, oh God, my life really sucks and this is terrible. You know, there's a lot of doom saying out there about a lot of things. And I really made it a point that, you know, I'm not an idiot, and I don't believe any of the people that, you know, are watching this or anything else like that are idiots in this respect. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's a lot going on out there that sometimes we just need something that will bring us about in a much more positive light. Give us a chance to think, to breathe, to invigorate, to inspire. I don't know that I will be that person that will make that kind of content, but that's certainly what I'm looking forward to doing. I have so many friends and family that are extremely skilled and powerfully talented people, and I am consistently in awe and overwhelmed by the creative nature that I see. And so I want to be able to take that and run with it in some way, some form, some shape. And I know that for a long time I'd held off only because of the fact that I was a little reluctant to jump down that rabbit hole. And I didn't really know where all this was going to end. I didn't know. And I mean, all that aside, I had technical issues. I had, you know, from like, it took me a while to find this particular camera. In fact, it took me a while to figure out what my game plan was. I ended up journaling almost on a weekly basis to get my stuff back together, you know, as far as like understanding where I was and, you know, trying to figure out a nice financially stable way to exist and still be able to, you know, pay my bills, eat, you know, but still be able to afford, you know, the equipment I needed to do some other stuff, to be able to drive, to do things, you name it, just basically live life. And so, you know, I'm not the only person that has challenges. So, but one thing that did occur to me was I can't have those be excuses for why I'm not doing this. And I think that ultimately when it came down to it was I had to look at myself and go, well, if I wait, it's going to be one more year before I do this. If I wait, it'll be 5 more years before I do this. And it's the exact same folly that I fell into when I dragged my feet and I waited so long to put out Pagan Zoetrope the very first time. Sorry about that. I'm a little worn out from today. I didn't really even do very much. I mean, I worked around the house and did some stuff like that, and didn't really touch the studio. But aside from that, so anyway, I'm not going to make this very long, and I told myself I was not going to make it very long. I will tell you this much. I am going to adhere to this as much as possible because I really have some fun things that I want to talk about, and I do have plenty of things that I want to review. I mean, I ran across this just not that long ago, and I wasn't going to show any product on here, but this is a Stabilo, and this is a very, very awesome German highlighter marker, and they're refillable. Now, one of the things that I was really going to emphasize, and I started going over the identity of what I wanted from my brand, was reusability, refillability, you know, just basically the whole concept of either reusability or recycling. And I wanted that to be the clarion call that I adhered to, because I know that that's been something that's been deep inside of me for a long time, is just, you know, environmentalism and all of these other things that go along with that. So not only this, but I've got, you know, a whole bunch of other art supplies that would run in that zone that are more environmentally friendly and that just are something that are worth the investment. But I want to be able to be candid about them and talk about those sort of things. And I don't want it to be the same sort of breakdowns and so, you know, or explanations or like been there, done that sort of thing. So what I'm hoping for is some lively discussion and interaction. And I'm really going to try and drive this narrative to where these videos will become something more helpful and something that you guys would enjoy watching, that isn't a drag, that isn't, you know, me, you know, going on about what's bad in the world without providing some sort of, I wouldn't say a convalescent point, but at least something that says, hey, you know, things are bad right now, but there's going to be a solution. We can be that solution, or we can provide something that will work for the better positive in that respect. And a lot of that has to come from the fact that, you know, all throughout history, visual artists, and whether we're talking about people that were painting on caves to the incredible masters from the Renaissance to, you know, the artists at Pixar, you've got all that time, and artists all along the way inspired each other, inspired the general masses. They would tell stories, whether it was cartooning, whether it was animation, whether it was, you know, graffiti, whatever it was, they told these stories, whether it was through the medium of dance, of song. All of these things meld together. And I want to be able to reach out to a lot of the people that I know, and I want to see what will come in the next few years through all of this. That sounds like really lofty ideals and goals, but this has been completely unscripted. This is something that's coming from inside me, where I really want this to be at least a bastion of positivity in a day and age where there's not enough of that. So with that, I'm going to stop this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please hit subscribe below, ring the bell, whatever. Actually, after having found out some of the crazy stuff with YouTube, it really doesn't matter. Just come back and watch the channel. Actually, please subscribe. But if you can, just come back, watch the video, and leave a comment if you really liked it. Please check out my Patreon, and all the rest of the information is in the show notes down below. So if you hit click info or more info, whatever it is down at the bottom, you'll see all the rest of the stuff down there. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you in the next vlog.